Hey Homeworthy, I'm SJ.
And I'm Jackson.
And welcome to our first home here in Atlanta, Georgia. Come on inside.
Welcome to our newest Homeworthy series called Our First Home, where we meet young lovebirds who are building their first nest together.
Now we're the Taylors.
We're married.
These couples have both charming love stories and lovely homes.
It just feels great to be not only building a home, but building a life together.
So prepare to be swept off your feet by these incredible pairs and the places they call home. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hey, I'm Jackson Bailey. I'm an attorney here in Atlanta.
And I'm SJ Bailey. I'm a jewelry designer for my company, SJ Bailey Co. And welcome to our first home. We've been together for almost 8 years. We met when we were 19. We were sophomores at UGA. We met at a fraternity sorority party. And I thought he was so cute, but I never saw him around on campus, ever. And then randomly we bumped into each other at the UGA Auburn game and started talking and just really hit it off. But I was like, I'm never gonna see him again. And then I ended up that same week, we bumped into each other. It was so wild. One of us was going to get a bagel before class, or I got dragged downtown by my friends and I didn't want to go. We bumped into each other 5 times that week, and then he asked me out on a date on Black Friday, but I was working at Anthropology at the time, and I of course couldn't take Black Friday off, so I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'd love to go on a date with you, but I can't that day.
I thought that was a nice excuse, so gave up a little bit there, but
I really did want to go though, and then that day I actually got a call from my manager at Anthropology, and she was saying that they were overstaffed and she didn't end up needing me to come in that day, so we ended up going on a date, and
shout out to that manager, I guess.
Been together ever since.
Yeah.
We're here in Atlanta, Georgia, in our little cottage home. We absolutely love living here. We looked for so long for our first house. Yeah. I mean, it was probably, I guess 7 months maybe doesn't sound like the longest of times, but it
feels long when you get 10 Zillow messages a day, but
yes. But it ended up working out perfectly. We actually were looking at a house on this same street, and that house was okay. I wasn't in love with it, and I drove past this house on the way to the other one, saw a for sale sign in the yard, and I just figured, oh, it's definitely out of our budget. That's why I haven't seen it on Zillow yet. And had our agent call just in case. Ended up, it hadn't hit the market yet. So we were able to be the first showing and the first offer. And as soon as I walked in this house, I knew this was the one. I hadn't had that feeling anywhere else. I fell in love with the floor plan. I loved the existing charm, and I just had a vision to bring it to life. Yeah. And it worked out, so yay, we got it after many offers that were not accepted on other houses.
Cheers. Yeah, so I knew that I wanted to propose to her for a long time, but we started dating sophomore year of college, so we had a long road to go before we were ready for marriage. But it was after my first year of law school, I came back home, and that's when I knew I wanted to propose so that we could be married for my last year and live together up in Virginia. And so she always talked a lot about the Swan Coach House in Atlanta, and it's a very pretty spot. So I figured that would be the right place to do it. What I didn't know is that it's closed certain days of the week, and so I made a big plan, got her sister to come, and convinced her that they were taking pictures for her business at the Coach House. And of course, Eshed knew that the Coach House was probably closed that day, so she was dragging her feet, but shout out to Annie for getting Eshed there. but I was hiding. There's like a big gate there, and of course when I show up it's locked, and so I'm trying to figure out what am I gonna do, because then, you know, there's no rearranging the plan now, and so I had to walk through the little bit of woods around the fence and got myself in there. Of course, when Esha shows up with her sister and the gate's locked, Annie had to convince her to also sneak behind the fence. And so, you know, once she saw me, I think I somehow got the words out to do it. And then, yeah, she said yes, so it was great. They walked up after, like, we had done it and take a couple pictures. There was people that were coming to definitely tell us that we need to get out of there. And then I think they realized what had happened, so then they were nice, but...
Yeah, they let us have our moment, which I appreciate. Yeah. Okay, we got married at Atlanta Country Club, and it was the most perfect day ever. It was amazing. And we had, Jackson wore a white jacket. I had all the bridesmaids in white dresses, and then all the groomsmen in white jackets too. So it looked really cool, especially against the green golf course for photos. But it was amazing. It was just so sweet, and we had blue and white flowers everywhere. And most importantly, I got to marry Jackson, so it was a success.
You planned it all yourself too?
Oh yeah, I did. We didn't use a planner. I planned everything. I knew exactly what I wanted. And I also have a bridal jewelry business, so it just kind of felt like the perfect fit to bring my vision to life with all the designs.
Yeah, you did perfect.
Oh, thank you.
The weather cooperated.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we got married in August, so it was...
Yeah. In Georgia in August, it usually thunderstorms like every afternoon. So yeah. Luckily, the rain started during the service, and so everyone was inside. And then once it was done, it was sunny. So
it was great.
Some people didn't even know it rained. We found that out later, but yeah, it was perfect.
So this is our entryway, and even though it's definitely a very small space, I wanted it to pack a punch when you first walk into our home. And I fell in love with this wallpaper when we went to Schumacher. I was actually looking originally for a wallpaper for our bathroom to match a shower curtain that I'll show y'all in a little bit. And this one matched so perfectly, but I felt like it was so beautiful. I wanted to display it more than just tucked away in our bathroom. And I felt like it would make this little space feel like a jewel box. So it felt like the perfect place to put it. And I love the floral elements. We decided to use a brass visual comfort chandelier that also ties into the floral. And I found this gold mirror at Le Chateau. It's an antique store here in Atlanta, and I felt like it just matched perfectly. And so yeah, this is what everyone sees when they first walk in. And now I'd love to show you our living room. So this is our living room. This is definitely where we spend the majority of our time. Yeah, whether it's watching movies or hanging out or even just working and checking emails on the couch. We love this room. A lot of what you see in here is going to be a secondhand find, whether that's estate sales, Facebook Marketplace, eBay. That's essentially like the only places that I shop for home decor. So these blue French chairs here were actually one of the first purchases that I made for our home. I bought these before, I think we were engaged when I bought them, and they were about $120 on Facebook Marketplace. And they also came with this like antique gold mirror that was beautiful. I felt like it was a steal. However, they were painted sparkly blue with neon teal fabric. And I texted a photo to Jackson. I was like, look, I bought these for our first apartment.
Wonderful.
I think he thought I'd lost the plot, but I had a vision and I felt like the bones for these chairs were really great. And I ended up DIYing them, so I stripped the paint off of the wood. And I wanted to recover them myself, but honestly, I just like couldn't figure out how to do that. So I did pay someone to reupholster them. But I found this ice blue fabric, and I felt like I could use these no matter what house we like ended up going to. And I think Jackson likes them now.
Really awesome.
And it's become Biscuit's favorite place to hang out.
Yeah, this is our golden retriever, Biscuit. She's about 10 months now, but she loves to get on the neighborhood watch here. So my parents actually have a golden retriever who's probably double the size of Biscuit. It's like over 100 pounds, but they call him the sheriff because he likes to patrol their neighborhood on their front porch. So we've nicknamed Biscuit here the deputy. So the deputy's on duty right now, making sure nothing's going wrong.
And I ended up finding these pillows on Etsy, and I asked the vendor if instead of doing black velvet piping, she could do light blue, and it matches so perfectly, and I got them for not very expensive, which is lovely. Next up, I can show y'all this art. So my friend Autumn Arissa Art painted this. It's a watercolor. I found this frame at an estate sale. I love it, and it matches this room so perfectly. I found this print. It was actually a greeting card, and I found it on a girls' trip in Austin. And I don't know why this card just spoke to me. And I cut it off the little like card part, and I mounted it onto this canvas paper that I just found at Michael's. And my Grammy actually gave me this frame. She had a gallery wall in her old house before she decided to move, and she gifted me a lot of those frames that were on that gallery wall, which has been amazing, and we've used them all over this house, but I like how this looks. It makes me happy. I actually painted these, so don't look too closely because I am not a painter at all. But yeah, I painted this set for our first apartment in Charlottesville, where we lived for our first year of marriage because it was his third year of law school. And I thought they actually fit perfectly. I didn't intend to like use them again because I was like, oh, I painted them myself. Like, I don't know. But I really like how they look. And then I found this bench at an estate sale in Charlottesville. It was the longest line I've ever waited in for an estate sale before. And I was shocked that this was still there because I saw it on the listing and I went specifically for this bench. So that was so great. Then we redid the fireplace when we bought this house. We did a lot of projects to this house actually. When we first bought it, we completely redid this room. Basically, we removed the baseboards. We did these new taller ones because I wanted to maintain the charm of this house. Like, it was so cute already, and I just felt like we could elevate it a little bit. And we did higher baseboards, which I really love them. And then we added this wood molding to the crown molding just to elevate it a little bit. And this actually used to be white quartz, and we found out in our inspection of the house that it was a fire hazard. So that had to go. We didn't want our first home to burn down when we first lit the fireplace. So we ended up doing this Carrara marble subway tile, or Carrara marble 3x6 tile. And I love how this looks. I think it's very timeless. And then we wanted to mount our TV over.
This was probably the coolest part.
Yeah, we wanted to mount this TV over the fireplace, but it's brick behind this, of course, because it's, you know, chimney, all that stuff. And we couldn't get an outlet far enough into the brick, and I didn't want to get a frame TV and then have cords everywhere. So what I designed is this box where it's just this wooden box that we built out and then added that same wooden molding kind of style around the box just to kind of make it look like it's been here forever. And it's hollow inside the box, so the outlet can stick up, and then we hid all the wires and we're able to mount the TV over the fireplace.
Yeah.
And
no, it looks great. It looks like it was part of the original house, so that's the cool part.
That's everything we've done. We really just wanted to maintain the integrity of the house. It was so cute, and we just wanted to play into that charm. And yeah, it's funny, the amount of people that have walked in here and didn't know it was a TV is...
Yeah, you know, Samsung sponsor us, I guess.
And then this chest I found at Le Chateau here in Atlanta. I love them. And they actually refinished it in this beautiful mahogany color and then added a marble top because it didn't originally have one. And since this is a smaller square footage home, we're trying to maximize storage as much as we can, and it just helps to have extra drawers wherever you can. And I found this lamp at Peridot. It's a local store here in Atlanta too. They have a lot of cute home stuff, and I felt like this pulled in the dark blue and all the pillows. This coffee table is also a marketplace find, and we had a smaller version when we lived in Charlottesville, and I loved it so much, but our apartment was so significantly smaller, and it was probably like this long, and it looked teeny tiny in this room, and I was so sad because I loved it so much, and I was really excited when I found a larger version on Facebook Marketplace, and I don't know, it makes me happy. Hey, Biscuit. This is our stack of coffee table books. This actually happened as an accident because when we moved into our first apartment in Atlanta, when we were moving all the coffee table books, we just ended up stacking them in a corner, and I ended up loving how it looked. So ever since then, we've always had a little coffee table book stack, and it is shockingly sturdy. Biscuit has not knocked it down yet, and I thought this looked really cool with this art that I found at an estate sale and then on Etsy. And then here is a little miniature gallery wall. I found this mirror also on Facebook Marketplace, and it was such a good deal that I actually thought it was a scam, and I took Jackson, my brother, and my sister to go pick it up with me because I thought I was gonna get kidnapped, but I didn't, and now it looks beautiful in my home, so I love it. And whenever we go on dates, Jackson and I always collect little matchbooks, so any trip we've gone on, any of our favorite restaurants, we just have this collection here, and it always is kind of fun when you light a candle with a little match from this. This is our intaglio wall. We also had this in our first apartment here in Atlanta, and I just love intaglios. I think it's a very cool vintage touch to everything, and my mom helped me hang this, and if you look behind the intaglios, there are a whole lot of holes in the wall, but I think it looks very elegant and elevated. Something I really like to do in our home is create little vignettes wherever you look, and this is probably one of my favorites. I found this artwork at an estate sale in Atlanta. I'm sorry if that's annoying how many times I'm saying estate sale, but I loved the butterflies and they were a great deal. I had been looking forever for some brass sconces and I couldn't find what I was looking for. Ended up finding these on eBay, and I just think brass sconces with candlesticks feel very romantic to me, and I love how all of this looks. I don't think I have a specific style that I go after for a house. I think it's more of I see a piece, I know I like it, and I will find a place for it in our home. And I feel like, yeah, I feel like it all just kind of came together that way. I know I love French, anything French, in terms of like furniture or lines, and I also really love antique pieces. And I think I like to give a playful twist. I want people to walk into our home and for it to feel not like a museum, but a place where they can sit on the couch, be comfortable, and actually enjoy their time here. Like if something breaks, it breaks, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
When you moved into the house and then immediately got an 8-week golden retriever, things are chaos. So.
Yes, that is very true.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do about a little puppy running amok, and we always said that she would not be allowed on the furniture, but
yeah, no.
This is Biscuit's couch, this is Biscuit's chair, this is actually Biscuit's chair, so yeah. Well, here is our dining room. Almost everything in this room is secondhand, so the rug was a Facebook Marketplace find. This, hi Biscuit. This wooden credenza was a Facebook Marketplace find. I had to find one that was very narrow because this is a very small square footage space, and I didn't want something here that was gonna pop out so much that you couldn't walk through. And, oh, sorry Biscuit. When I found this, it was perfect. And it's also great storage, and I feel like it just kind of makes the space feel light and bright and airy. And this is a tablescape that I've set up using our wedding china. These napkins were also a wedding gift, and I just love a monogrammed linen. And any kind of brass candlestick I can get my hands on, I'm so excited about. And I think these were about $3 each at estate sales here in the Atlanta area. So I feel like this just looks very lovely and timeless. And this art was also an estate sale find. Originally, these prints came in these frames, but they were painted like purple, and the matting was, I think, red and purple tie-dye, but they were like $3 each. I loved the prints, and I used rub and buff to create more of a timeless look, in my opinion, with the brass frames, and I really like how they look. We also did this wallpaper, and I saw this wallpaper at Schumacher, fell in love with it, and I knew I wanted to do it in our dining room because I felt like green in the dining room would be so lovely for holidays and, you know, all that kind of stuff I just love. And I felt like because it's such a small space, it would be a lot to do this wallpaper all over the room. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to do this picture frame molding and then do the wallpaper design in the picture frame molding. And I'm really, really happy with how it came together. Here, this is the other side of the wall. So we did it on this wall and that one. And this is our little party pantry, as my mom calls it, where we store all of our entertaining supplies. So all this was wedding gifts or estate sale finds, but it's kind of a nice little hidden away storage. So this is our Herond collection. This actually all started with this little cake topper that we used for our wedding cake. And then I just fell in love with Herond and decided that Herond figurines was going to be my new passion. So I found this at an estate sale with a friend. I was visiting her when she lived in Dallas, and there was this estate sale in Highland Park. It was the most insane estate sale I've ever been to. And this was so cheap. I genuinely was like, oh my gosh, like, what is going on? Like, is it not real? I don't know, but I love it, so I'm gonna take it. And I went to the checkout line and I was checking out, and they're like, oh, just so you know, like, it's cracked. And I was like, what? You can't even tell. So I guess this had previously shattered and they glued it back together, but you can't even tell. And he's really cute. And yeah, we love an estate sale treasure. So I found these at an estate sale, and then I found this at an estate sale in Charlottesville. And this is actually what inspired this dining room. Is I just loved the colors so much and the floral elements, and I felt like designing a dining room around these just made so much sense. And that's what kind of drove me to choose this wallpaper and then just the elements throughout the room. What's been so special about living here and having this as our first home is just thinking about all the memories that not only that we already have from living here for a year, but all the ones that we're gonna make. We've had so many sweet memories with us and having our friends and family over, with Biscuit especially. And it's just really exciting to think about all the fun stuff that's to come here in this home.
And I think it's cool because, you know, we both grew up here, but in different parts of the city. So it's sort of nice to move to, you know, another part and sort of make it our own together. So it makes this house feel special that, you know, yes, this is our hometown, but Atlanta's pretty spread out. And so it's nice to make a particular spot ours.
Okay, this is our kitchen. This is the last room that we redid, actually. So when we moved in, we weren't really sure if we were gonna redo this or not, but we decided we spend a lot of time in here, of course, and it felt like, you know, this increases the value of your home to update your kitchen. And we ended up going with a Carrara marble countertop, which I'm really happy with. We originally thought that we were gonna do a full splash backsplash of this Carrara marble, but we ended up doing 14 inches above with a little 2-inch shelf. And I feel like it very much plays into the cottage character of this house, you know, with the beadboard on the cabinets and then this little shelf. It just, I don't know, it's very cute and quaint to me. I actually sewed these curtains myself. I found this fabric on Spoonflower, and if you look closely, you can tell that I DIY'd this, so don't look too close. But I really love how this looks because we ended up creating just a little seating area here in the kitchen. When we first moved in, we were very torn of if we wanted to do a rolling island here to have extra counter space or a little eating area, but honestly, I'm really happy that we went with another eating area because now we have another space. If, you know, we have friends over and they want to come over for a cup of coffee or a drink, you can sit here. Jackson and I have a place to eat that's not our formal dining room. And we actually spend a lot of time right here. And I just think we created a cute little area that just brings us joy and makes us happy.
So the last little addition to our kitchen was a Christmas gift from my mom, actually. And she made these little magnets of us and Biscuit. And then here's actually the deputy herself and the sheriff. So, you know, just a little small detail that's fun in our kitchen.
Yeah. This is our office. This is where I spend the majority of my time during the day. And here's Biscuit looking cute as ever. But yeah, I found this desk at Ballard Designs, and it originally came with these black knobs, and I didn't really love them, but I found these knobs on Amazon, and they're mother of pearl, which really matches the jewelry that I make for my jewelry company, and it felt like the perfect fit. This chair originally so my parents growing up moved around houses every 2 years, and in one of the houses, the seller had this in the bedroom that was going to become my bedroom, and my mom looked at it and was like, this is the most SJ chair I've ever seen, and asked when they were buying the house if they could have this chair, and the lady said yes, and now it sits in this office, and I just think it's so fun. I found these Roman shades on Etsy, and I felt like it was a great way to make this room feel a little bit more private, because we have all of these windows, and our neighbors are right there and right there, and I feel like it's a great way to just kind of elevate the space while also adding the functionality of privacy. And this chandelier is visual comfort. It reminds me a lot of my jewelry because I use a lot of floral elements, like you can see in my necklaces and my earrings, and I feel like it's just a little inspiration whenever I'm working in here. Now, these shelves I bought for our old apartment. They're from IKEA, and I stuffed just about every single thing I possibly can in here. Originally, this was to hold all of the S.J. Bailey Co. earrings that I make, but I'm very grateful and excited to say that now we've gotten to the point where I can't fit all of my inventory in here. So now I just shove all of our supplies, random things for the business in here, and I DIY'd these curtains. I found this fabric at Schumacher, and I found these rods at Home Depot, and I mounted them to the inside so that way we could put whatever we needed to in here, and it wouldn't be super messy and crazy when people walk in from the outside deck and where we park and everything into the home, and you'd see all my clutter. So I think it's a great way to just kind of hide everything. This is actually one of the first pieces of artwork that I found when we first got married. I found this vintage Ferragamo scarf on eBay, and I fell in love with it because I just love butterflies and florals, and I got it framed at a local frame store, and I feel like it really just highlights, it's crazy how well it matches the desk and the curtains, given that all of these were found and curated very separately, and it all just came together. When it comes to buying your first home, just know that everything happens for a reason. There were houses that we put offers in that we thought would have been great houses, but they were not the ones for us. And now being on this side of it, it's so obvious why those didn't work out. And I know it can be hard when you're buying your first home, because in order to warrant putting an offer in on a house, you have to wrap your head around living in that area, what your lifestyle would look like there, what your finances would look like with that mortgage or down payment and everything, and you kind of wrap your mind around a vision of a life in that house. And so if you put an offer in and then you don't get it, it can almost be like mourning a life that you thought you were gonna have. And we definitely experienced that a couple of times. But now being in this home, I could not be happier that the other ones didn't work out. And my advice to any first-time home buyers would just be to trust that your home will come. And even though patience is certainly not one of my virtues, I would recommend trying to be patient.
Yeah, I think my advice would be to be flexible. I mean, I think something that, we didn't really expect is right after you purchase the home, the basement might flood or, something might break that you've never even heard of in your life. And I think it's just good to go in with a mindset of we're in this together. You're with your best friend, hopefully, and you're buying a place for the two of you. So if things unexpected happen, at least you're experiencing it together, and you just gotta roll with it to a certain extent.
Yeah. We completely redid this bathroom when we moved in. I mean, we demoed it to the studs, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. I absolutely love it. I chose this Carrara marble and thought it would look really beautiful to take halfway up the wall. Originally, I wanted to wallpaper this room, and that's what I found that entryway wallpaper for, but honestly, this feels so calm and peaceful to me, and I love wallpaper, and I'm a maximalist at heart, don't get me wrong, but I'm very happy with how it looks right now, so I'm a little apprehensive to wallpaper it, but we'll see. You never know. I DIY'd these curtains, which is probably very obvious if you look very closely, but I found this fabric at Valor Designs, and I thought it perfectly matched with our Wheezy towels with this beautiful French blue, and I found this curtain on Facebook Marketplace for a fraction of the price. It was brand new. I fell in love with it, and honestly, this inspired all of the bathroom decor, to be honest. And it just, I don't know, I feel like these pull in the darker blue and the light blue. And I found this bath mat on Etsy. And something kind of fun is that my married monogram is Jackson's monogram because he's JSB and I'm SJB. So kind of worked out perfectly, meant to be. And, oh yeah, so these were also frames from my Grammy's gallery wall that she gifted me, and I absolutely love them. I think they're very timeless and classic, and I actually had bought this wrapping paper from Dogwood Hill, like, gosh, I don't even know, I think I was still in college when I bought this, and I had just a couple of scraps left, nothing big enough to wrap a gift with. I don't know why I kept it, but I did, because I thought it was very pretty. And this color, I mean, it matches so perfectly with everything. It just makes me so excited. I feel like it looks very meant to be, and it looks very intentional, but little did you know, a lot of this was just curated over the years, and it just came together. And I'm very happy with how it looks. And I can show y'all too, this is what we did when we redid the bathroom. And like I said, I really wanted to play into the original charm of the house. When we redid this bathroom, I wanted it to feel very timeless and like it had been here forever since the house was built. And I felt like doing this was very classic and it wouldn't go out of style, hopefully. And I love this shower head that we did with the exposed pipe. If you look closely, we couldn't find a screw that went into the wall enough, but I'm telling myself that that's just character of the home and its personality, that it sticks out a little bit, but it's fine. So yeah, this is just a little luxurious space for us to take a bath, shower. Biscuit loves to lay in here just on the tile. There goes our bath mat, but that's life with a golden retriever puppy.
I mean, I definitely think a home soul is, you know, the times you spend together in the house. It doesn't have to be something like grand or crazy, like a big party or an event. But, you know, I think little things like the day-to-day, just coming home and knowing that, you know, this is the place where you can relax and be yourself and, you know, be with your family, whether that's you and your significant other and a dog or, you know, 7 kids. I think a home is definitely made by the people. A little cliche, but it's true.
No, it's true. I think, yes, like decor is so lovely and it can definitely change a space. Like I'm a very aesthetically driven person, so I have a lot of fun with the decoration process, but at the end of the day, like the soul of a house is who's in it. I completely agree.
Or what's in Biscuit's case.
Or yes, what's in it? How many treats and toys for Biscuit?
Yes.
That's probably what she would say. This is our guest bedroom. This was actually done in collaboration with Frontgate. So they so generously gifted us the furniture for this room. And I love how this came together. We wanted to create a very luxurious, serene space for our friends and family to come visit. Jackson and I each have 2 siblings that don't live here. And so we wanted when they came to visit to have a space that felt like home to them. So I worked with Frontgate's designer, Courtney, and she picked out this bed, and we had already had these side tables with a marble top, and we felt like it just paired together so perfectly. And I collect Wedgwood, so my mother-in-law actually has found a lot of these pieces for me at estate sales and on Facebook Marketplace too, and I love these lamps. I just think it looks very cozy, and honestly, Jackson and I very well just make this our primary bedroom because we love it so much. So when we first bought this house, I was telling Jackson he could have the primary bedroom walk-in closet because I'm such a selfless, generous wife. And that left me with this little tiny coat closet that is literally yay wide and fits nothing in here. So what we did is we found these PAX units at IKEA. And, you know, while they serve such great functionality, they did not match the aesthetic that we were going for with this room. So we ended up attaching this picture frame molding and then building out this molding at the top. We wanted to do crown molding, but a quirk about a very old home is that the ceilings aren't always even. So if you look closely, you'll be able to tell that it's a little zigzagged every which way, but it's fine. And this is so great because now I have plenty of space for my clothes, and I think it also looks really pretty and like it's been here forever, because we just didn't want it to look, you know, super modern with everything else that's so traditional. So yeah, so this is my closet. This is where I keep everything, but I love how these look. And then I found this little stool at Le Chateau, and it already came painted this color and covered in this fabric, and it just elevates this space so much. I feel like it belongs in here, and it also serves a function because I can't reach the top shelves of this closet, and I can just pull this out, stand on it, and then it's all good. I also did this peel and stick wallpaper myself. I ordered it from Spoonflower, and Jackson was gonna help me, so this is not at all him not wanting to be helpful, but it was delivered while he was at work, and I got the delivery notification, so I ran outside and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm just doing this now, because like I said, patience is not one of my many virtues. So I decided to just go ahead and do it, and it took me a couple of hours, but then Jackson came home and he did not have to wallpaper a bedroom. So I think he was actually very happy about that. But I love it. I think it just makes it so cozy and serene, but also a little bit playful and classic. So yeah.
So this is our bedroom. As you can see, Biscuit thinks this is her bedroom as well. We've tried a couple times to let her sleep in here, and it's pretty unsuccessful because she's super restless. So the crate is her spot for the time being. But
she likes to burrow under the covers. Like, she just crawls under and then takes all the sheets and covers with her. And we're like, okay, great. Thank you so much, Biscuit.
She's a coal miner at heart or something. I don't know.
Yes, but yeah, we love this room. We've made it very cozy. Here she goes. It's her bed. What can we do, you know? She's so cute. Hi. Hello. Hi. So I found these at an estate sale, and the first thing I noticed was the frames. I absolutely love these. I loved the bows, and as you can probably tell by now, I love a brass or golden frame. And then I also fell in love with the prints. Part of the reason I got them for such a great deal is because the glass is broken on this one, but I will eventually get this fixed, so pay no mind. Anyways, walking over here. These side tables were one of the first purchases I made. I think we were engaged, or maybe it was like even before we got engaged. And this was probably one of the few investment buys I've done that was not a secondhand find, but they're from Le Chateau. I think they're very timeless. I figured no matter what bedroom we do, we could end up making them work. And one of the great things about Le Chateau is if you buy something from them, if you ever want it repainted or if you want to trade it out for something else, like, they will do that. So it felt like a safe purchase. These are our wedding invitations. My aunt got them framed when we got married, which was so sweet. And honestly, our crest perfectly matches the vibe of the room, so that goes there. And then these were done by a local artist, Lindsay Frank's Art, and I don't know, I love them. I think they look really cute. I used my Christmas money one year to buy this bedding. I fell in love with it. I love the light blue, and just makes me happy every morning when we wake up in this bedding. And I found these curtains at Ballard Designs, and I don't know, I felt like they were just kind of fun. Normally, I don't want to put a bed in front of a window, but with the layout of this room, there was just really no other option, so I tried to make it look as elegant as possible, despite unfortunate room circumstances.
One thing about old houses is we found out very quickly that the dimensions are not always symmetrical, and so we hung these, this one and then the one in the living room, we hung ourselves, and so, you know, at first I thought maybe you just measure 2 inches down, 2 inches down, 2 inches down, and you get the perfect line, and when I did that and it was about like this, I realized maybe that's not the case, and so I had to use my math skills for the first time since probably AP statistics, and I think it looks pretty straight, so maybe. But yeah, that's a tip. If it's an old house, your dimensions are probably not symmetrical.
Yeah, but he did a great job, and we really like how it looks. To me, home would be, of course, Jackson and Biscuit, but a place where I feel like I can just be completely at peace. With this house, what I wanted so badly is to make a place where even if we're traveling or doing other things out and about, it's where I cannot wait to get back to. And creating a space where you just feel like I can be completely myself and put my feet up and relax and just be so comfortable and also find like so much joy in what we've created here. So yeah.
Yeah, I think home to me is also, you know, not just the location, like obviously this is both of our hometowns and our families live here, but it's cool within that to have, you know, your own place of, you know, it's, for me it's cool to grow up here my whole life and then actually like buy a house in the same place, which is sweet, so
yeah.
I liked it.
And home can also be the places around you too. It cannot just be your house, it could be your grocery store, like your dry cleaners, your, I don't know, maybe that's a terrible way to say this. Like,
nothing says home like the dry cleaners, you know?
Well, you know what I mean? Like the places that you frequent and you're like, oh, that's my Publix. Like that's my Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
I don't know. That made a lot more sense in my
I
head.
mean, it's where you're comfortable.
Yes,
sure.
yeah.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.